Good evening, I'm Haley Wilgus. Scott Dennis has the day off. Thanks for joining us tonight. Our top story, security changes at airports all across the country. New signs will be going up, alerting passengers about the changes which involve your identification. ABC 7's Jacqueline Matter explains how the changes could affect you.
If you're like most Americans, you've used a driver's license to get through security at the airport. But now the rules on what makes that license valid are changing.
People that come from states that do not meet the real ID criteria, their driver's license, for example, wouldn't be accepted as a viable piece of identification when trying to get through the security checkpoint.
In 2005, Congress passed the Real ID Act, setting stricter requirements when it comes to state driver's licenses and ID cards. While a majority of states comply with what is required on that ID, some states do not. For residents of Kentucky, Maine, Minnesota, Missouri, Montana, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, and Washington, come this time next year, your license will not be accepted.
You have to find some other kind of identification. Obviously, a passport would be a suitable alternative.
For some passengers, they say it's a safe bet to have multiple forms of identification.
Really shouldn't be an issue. Everybody should have at least 2 forms of ID anyways.
When it comes to what IDs need to comply with the Real ID Act, they must include your full legal name, birth date, gender, address, signature, an ID number, photo, and a security feature such as a barcode or a hologram. The president of Sarasota Bradenton International Airport, Rick Piccolo, says despite people's complaints of the upcoming screening process, the increased security measures are aimed at keeping passengers safe.
The level of security we've enjoyed in the system since 9/11, I think all the participants are doing a very good job of trying to ensure people's safety.
It's important to note that the new ID Act does not go into effect until January 1st of 2018. In Sarasota, Jacqueline Matter, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
It's getting a little more crowded on the Suncoast. Tourism season is especially visible on our barrier islands with constant heavy traffic and congestion. While it may be a headache for residents living on the island, for local businesses it means increased revenue during the holidays. The co-owner of Island Watch Properties has been in Holmes Beach for more than a decade. She says her rentals will be booked well after New Year's Day.
It seems like we've seen an increase going back up over the last couple of years, more and more people coming over Christmas. This year is definitely the busiest I remember in the last, I'd say, probably 6 to 7 years.
Business owners on the island say their next busy period starts in mid-February. Sarasota police officers plan to focus on 5 busy intersections to try and prevent pedestrian and bicycle accidents. The police department recently received a $25,000 grant for a high visibility enforcement program. Officers plan to use the money to educate people about traffic laws and enforce those laws in 5 specific areas to try to lower the number of accidents. Those 5 areas are 2 stretches along the North Washington corridor, the North Tamiami and South Tamiami Trail corridors, and the downtown corridor along Main Street.
The traffic unit, our primary responsibility is to come out and investigate serious injury and fatality crashes, and a high number of those crashes tend to be bicycle and pedestrian related.
I hope part of this also includes some education about using crosswalks. The safety campaign will begin the first week in January. If you receive a ticket for running a red light, beware, it could be a scam. An email scam has been circulating in Florida for a few weeks now. The crooks email victims a citation saying they need a payment within 3 days, and they include a hyperlink to the payment page. The email also threatens the recipient that they will have to pay fees and their license will be suspended if they don't send a payment. The email includes the Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles logo, which makes it look legitimate. But the agency does not email citations.
If they'd received this email, that they needed to either, ignore it, or if they had responded and were a victim, then they needed to go ahead and refute the charges with their financial institution, as well as potentially put fraud alerts on their accounts.
If you get a ticket that you think is a scam, you should contact the Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles or the clerk of court. And now for a check on our forecast. Still feeling those hot temperatures. Let's head over to John.
Yeah, above average once again. No doubt December will end up being a very, very warm month on the climatological scale, probably one of the top 5. And certainly today was no exception. A beautiful, beautiful evening here on the Sun Coast. As the sun is setting, we're looking at mostly blue skies out there. Inland, there are a few fair weather clouds building, but it's what's happening to the north of us that gives us particular interest. There's a stalled frontal boundary that has pushed our high pressure ridge a bit further to the south and kind of broken the really warm temperatures we had at the beginning of the week. But what's more important is to the north of that, an area of low pressure spinning around with a cold front and cold air draining down the plains. That will team up with a front that's stalled to our south and bring us some pretty impressive cool temperatures as we head into Friday. We'll talk all about that in just a few minutes. Haley?
Thank you, John. A traffic stop in Sarasota County leads to a drug bust and 2 arrests. Deputies were conducting surveillance on a known drug house in Nokomis yesterday when they saw 2 men leave the home with a backpack. Deputies followed the duo and pulled them over near Kilpatrick and Albee Farm Roads. When they searched the car, deputies found a loaded handgun, meth, and marijuana. Tommy Smith of Sarasota and Christopher Lester of Venice were arrested. They both face felony drug charges. A display near the historic courthouse in downtown Bradenton has some people talking. A rabbi from a West Bradenton congregation got the okay from the clerk's office to place a 9-foot menorah on the grounds during Hanukkah. It's the first time ever that a religious display like this has ever been placed at this location. Tonight is the 5th night of Hanukkah, with the last night of the Jewish holiday taking place on Saturday night.
It feels amazing. You know, especially growing up here in Sarasota and to being able to see this happen right here. It's amazing. It feels great.
This menorah will remain on display until January 3rd. The clerk's office tells us there is no policy in place for displays like this. It's something they plan on discussing with the county in the coming months. Sarasota race fans, mark your calendars. The next Bradenton area River Regatta will take place on February 4th, and power boats will reach speeds of more than 100 miles, 120 miles per hour, and some of the best jet skiers in the world will be competing. The event will feature live music, a kids zone, BMX stunts, a fireworks show, and all of it is free. Once again, the 3rd annual Bradenton area River Regatta will start on Saturday, February 4th. And still to come on your Suncoast News, tributes to Carrie Fisher all around the world. How fans are remembering her for who she was on and off screen. And ABC 7 meteorologist John Scalzi will be back with your full weather forecast. Plus the hardships of being a single parent, how it can be especially difficult for fathers in Health Smart.
Google GoWildHonda.com. Lease a CRV for $219 during Wild's final clearance. Just $219 and 0 down. Now at GoWildHonda.com or visit Wild Honda Sarasota. It's gotta be wild.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
The new year is on its way. Are you ready to stick to your resolutions? I'm Joey Panic on Suncoast View. We get some important tips on how you can eat better in 2017 and make sure that those good habits stick. A world-renowned artist is kicking off his exhibit right here on the Suncoast. We'll get an exclusive look. Florida Studio Theater brings us one of their longest-running performers, plus Suncoast for sale and Blue Mangrove in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
It's been an emotional time politically and socially this year.
But during a season when hearts are a little more open to love, we want to talk about good things to believe in.
We believe in compassion and caring.
We believe diversity makes our community stronger.
We believe we can all weather the storm by sticking together.
We believe in finding the facts before taking a stance.
We hope you believe too.
Happy holidays from ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
On your TV, on your computer, on your camera, on your smartphone. on your Apple Watch. And now you can get ABC7, your Suncoast News on Fire TV. Just go to mysuncoast.com and click on the mobile tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver ABC7, your Suncoast News on the go.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Google GoWildHonda.com. Lease a Civic for $179 during Wild's final clearance. Just $179 and 0 down. Now at GoWildHonda.com or visit Wild Honda Sarasota. It's gotta be wild.
A developing story tonight involving the Tampa Bay Bucks. Running back Doug Martin is suspended for 4 games for violating the NFL's drug policy. In a statement, Martin says his first instinct was to appeal the suspension, but after talking to coach Dirk Cutter and people close to him, Martin says he will start the suspension immediately so he can enter a treatment facility and get the help he needs. If you would like to read Martin's full statement, you can go to our website, mysuncoast.com. Now to another breaking story. TMZ is reporting that Debbie Reynolds, Carrie Fisher's mother, has just suffered a medical emergency, possibly a stroke. The 84-year-old has reportedly been distraught since Fisher's emergency Friday on a United jet. Fisher died yesterday at a Los Angeles hospital after going into cardiac arrest. She was 60 years old. ABC's Elizabeth Herr tells us Fisher is being remembered for a legacy that stretches far beyond the role that catapulted her to stardom.
The legendary role of Princess Leia.
You're braver than I thought.
May have defined her career.
May the Force be with you.
But Carrie Fisher was a star in her own right, starring in dozens of movies and TV shows, writing books, and sharing with the world her struggles with bipolar disorder and addiction, telling ABC's Diane Sawyer it was her mental illness that fueled her drug abuse.
I am mentally ill. I can say that. I am not ashamed of that. I survived that.
So many people are now coming out about their bipolar disorder. And it's a beautiful legacy. The fact that she was so honest about mental illness is just incredible.
It's a battle she chronicled in her semi-autobiographical novel, Postcards from the Edge, turned into a movie. And Fisher's best-selling novel, Wishful Drinking, later became a celebrated one-woman show on HBO.
While the place I've arrived at in my life isn't precisely everyone's idea of heaven, I could swear sometimes, if I'm quiet enough, I can hear the angels sing.
Fisher's funeral arrangements are still being finalized. We're told her daughter is handling those plans. Her brother, in the meantime, tells us expect her memorial service to be a celebration of her life because Carrie always liked a good party. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Of course, quite a legacy, and we will bring you the latest on the status with Debbie Reynolds as soon as we get word. And you still have time to get in on the high-flying holidays. America's oldest youth circus, the Sailor Circus, is delighting crowds with 2 performances a day. The show includes everything a full circus does, except the animals. There are acrobatics, jugglers, high-wire acts, flying trapeze artists, and much, much more. The Giant Whirl, which has not been performed for 4 years, is also back.
We've had raving audiences, as we always do, because these kids are carrying on an incredible circus legacy here in our community.
You can watch the show at the Sailor Circus Arena tonight at 7 o'clock or tomorrow at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. And Scott Dennis's daughter Reese is in that show.
Yes.
I'm sure doing a fantastic job. I couldn't do any of that.
It's pretty remarkable, actually.
Scary.
They asked me to participate 1 year as, kind of a guest performer kind of thing. And they gave me like the safest thing you could possibly do. And you kind of watch them rehearse and do their thing. And Oh my goodness, they are just remarkable, and it does such amazing things for them in building character and strength and teamwork.
Right.
And it's wonderful.
Confidence.
Wonderful program.
I mean, if you have the confidence to go out and do that, I think you have the confidence to do anything.
I have no idea how they do some of the stuff they do.
No, I don't
No
either.
idea where they get that nerve at
Right.
that age. I mean,
No
it's
kidding.
it's remarkable. Great stuff. The weather should cooperate if you want to get out and about and enjoy the circus tonight. It'll be a lovely evening to stroll outside. This beautiful shot sent in from Cindy Desmond, frequent contributor to pics at mysuncoast.com of last night's sunset. Again, just a test to the beautiful weather that we have had here on the Suncoast. Temperatures across the state of Florida, nice. 80 degrees in Tampa, 75 degrees in Gainesville, 74 Tallahassee, 73 Panama City, almost 80 in Miami, and Key West coming in at 79 as well. Locally, temperatures very mild, 81 degrees Wauchula, Arcadia, 82 Mayaca, Parrish, Bradenton at 79, 77 in Sarasota, 76 in Venice, Northport, you've got 79 degrees, and a little further to the south in Boca Grande, 73 degrees. Don't get used to it. That's all going to change, and it's going to change in a big way as we head into tomorrow night, I think, as early as tomorrow night. When you wake up Friday, there'll be a big change in our weather. 77 degrees, our current air temperature. Dew point is at 65. Dew point still high enough to support a little bit of patchy fog around. It's been kind of persistent in parts of North Florida today, and along the coastline up around the Big Bend region, there have been fog advisories up in the waters all through the afternoon. Winds out of the west-northwest at about 9, and again, I think by tomorrow morning, we'll probably see a little bit of that patchy, dense fog forming once again. A few scattered showers built this afternoon in response to the daytime heating and the moisture, but again, the layer of moisture is too thin really to support too much in the way of any kind of shower, certainly not any kind of thunderstorm activity. The thunderstorm risk, even with the approaching cold front, very low for the state of Florida. We have some snow showers in progress in the Great Lakes, and in fact, a developing low-pressure area in the western Great Lakes will exit and eventually bring some pretty intense snowfall totals to the northeast. The reason for that is an area of cold air kind of sinking southward. What that will do will be to team up with this stalled frontal boundary. An area of low pressure will develop, exit out into the Atlantic, move up the coastline, and produce some very strong winds in the northeast by Friday. That area of low pressure moving toward the east could produce some 40, 50-mile-an-hour winds over the Great Lakes, which is cold enough, but then the snowfall totals could exceed 1.5 feet, maybe even 20 inches as we head into Friday, Thursday, and Friday. So that's mostly in upstate New York, Adirondacks, and then down into down east Maine. But the attached cold front to that system will be moving through our area and will impact our weather dramatically. Thursday night into Friday morning, we have a slight chance of an isolated shower or two as this front moves through, but moisture and the dynamics will be limiting, so we won't see a lot of rainfall. And then some very chilly temperatures coming our way for at least a day, maybe a day and a half. Northwest wind for us today. Tomorrow switching to the west at about 10 knots, and we'll look for a light chop on Bay and inland waters. Watch what happens Friday when that front moves through. We'll look for temperatures only in the mid to lower 60s for a daytime high, means most of the day in the 50s with a very breezy wind. We'll warm back up though for the weekend. Back to you, Haley.
Thank you, John. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. Right now, there is an accident on I-75 in the southbound lanes at the University Parkway exit, and it is backing up traffic. In health news tonight, being a single father could take a toll on a man's health. That's according to a study by the University of Toronto. In the survey, single fathers were twice as likely as partnered fathers to rate both their physical and mental health as poor or fair. 1 in 5 had 2 or more chronic medical conditions, and 1 in 10 single fathers had a diagnosed mood or anxiety disorder. Compared to single mothers, single dads also had lower fruit and vegetable consumption and were more likely to be overweight and binge drinkers. A study by the University of California, Davis shows teens' views on pot in the state of Washington have changed since it became legal there. Results show 8th graders' perception of marijuana's harmfulness fell by about 14% from before legalization to afterward. Among 10th graders, the perception that it's harmful decreased about 16%. Also, the proportion of kids reporting they used marijuana in the previous month rose 2% among 8th graders and 4% among 10th graders. Researchers say these changes were significant when they compared them to states that hadn't legalized recreational marijuana. Coming up next, an epic lucky streak. How many green lights one driver breezed through in New York. Plus, a beaming 3-year-old wins over the internet. Why this boy's photo is going viral. That's next.
You're going to need me. You're going to need us. All of us. You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food. You're going to need our determination, our compassion. You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring. And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
You might feel like there's too many problems in the world, or that, you as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old can't really make a difference.
It's not always about you. It's not just one person. It's a group. It's a team.
Just that simple act is transforming someone else's life.
It's one of the best feelings in the world.
It'll just make you feel so good about yourself.
I'd do anything to convince you just to be a part of this.
If you want 24/7 access to ABC7's breaking news stories, weather forecasts, traffic alerts, health reports, Suncoast View, and more ABC7 programming, now there's good news. Introducing the free ABC7 channel on Amazon Fire TV. Your 24/7 access to ABC7. Just search ABC7 on the streaming device and download the free ABC7 channel app. Or if you don't have an Amazon Fire TV, you can get one at Amazon.com.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Joey Panic on Suncoast View. It is a new year and a new you when we get eating healthy tips, plus a Suncoast artist, Florida Studio Theater, and Blue Mangrove Grill in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
Christmas Traditions by LuxArt Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by LuxArt Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Don't miss the 19th annual Thunder by the Bay Motorcycle Festival, January 5th through the 8th, to benefit Suncoast Charities for Children. This year's festival welcomes special guest Blue Oyster Cult to the premier sports campus at Lakewood Ranch on January 8th at 4 p.m. Admission is free. Festival events include a sporting clay tournament, kickoff party, welcome Thunder event, Cruise for Cash charity motorcycle ride, and a 2-day Rockin' and Ridin' at the Ranch festival featuring vendors, live music, a taste of Thunder area, and more. VIP tickets are available. For tickets and info, visit thunderbythebay.org.
An extra cute adoption photo is going viral. 3-year-old Michael Brown spent more than 2 years in foster care, but now he has found his forever home. A single woman, Tara Montgomery, wasn't initially considering adoption, but when plans to reunite Michael with his biological mom fell through, she knew she had to make sure her foster child would never again wonder where he might end up next.
I really got into foster care to help kids. And it just turned into adoption, and I really hope a lot of people look into foster care, and it's so rewarding, and to be able to help out kids in transition is so rewarding.
And there are so many foster kids who need foster parents. One of Michael's adoptive sisters tweeted this cute photo of Michael with his fist in the air and his toothy smile. Isn't he just adorable? Well, this tweet of the photo has gotten more than 57,000 retweets and has more than 143,000 likes. He's a cutie. Talk about good luck. A Manhattan driver accomplished a near impossible feat. Noah Foreman started his journey in Harlem and hit 240 consecutive green lights. He went nearly 30 minutes before hitting a red light. Green is no stranger to the streets of New York. He's a ride-share driver, and before that, he drove a yellow cab. Well, a guy in North Dakota decided to test just how deep he could go in a snowdrift that piled up outside of his house after a blizzard. You can see that the snow almost covers his head there. More than 16 inches fell in parts of North Dakota over the holiday. The storm shut down roads and left thousands of people without power. Most people wouldn't expect to look outside and see a dinosaur doing yard work, but that's exactly what happened in North Dakota. A man was videotaped here wearing a T-Rex costume and plowing snow around his home, turning a boring chore into some prehistoric fun and probably delighting a lot of neighbors as well. That's too funny. Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, victims of red tide, how the toxic algae bloom is affecting birds on the Suncoast, and what a wildlife center is doing to help. It's been an emotional time politically and socially this year.
But during a season when hearts are a little more open to love, we want to talk about good things to believe in.
We believe in teamwork and building trust.
We believe every cloud has a silver lining.
We believe in treating everyone with respect.
We believe in being kind, no matter how busy the day is.
We hope you believe too.
Happy holidays from ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
Selling your home? Insist on a 3D showcase tour from Gulf Shores Realty. Virtual tours are flat and boring and look more like a slideshow than a tour. A 3D tour from Gulf Shores Realty is like actually walking through the home without the drive. Get instant access to your next home from any device. Multiple views give homebuyers a perspective like no other. For a limited time, mention ABC7 and Gulf Shores Realty will provide a complimentary 3D tour with your new listing.
Sarasota, we're uncorking something special at Michael's Wine Cellar and Tasting Room. Shop in a relaxed atmosphere with our wine specialists. You'll find 1,000 international wines, 200 under $20. National brand and boutique liquors at competitive pricing. Handcrafted beers. Stop by Michael's Wine Cellar and Tasting Room today and let us show you something exceptional.
Sarasota Institute of Lifetime Learning begins its 46th season on Monday, January 9th in Sarasota, Venice, and Lakewood Ranch. Meet Blair Tyndall, author of Mozart in the Jungle, on Monday, January 9th, and information and intelligence expert Terry Roberts on Tuesday, January 10th. 72 global issues lectures by renowned experts, 24 musical conversations with great performers. Tickets are on sale now. For more information and to purchase season tickets, visit SILLSarasota.org.